Imagine a weapon so powerful, so deadly, that it was nearly impossible to extinguish. Ancient warriors used it to burn entire fleets of enemy ships, causing chaos on the seas. This weapon, known as Greek fire, was a closely guarded secret, lost to time. But what if it was far more advanced than we ever realized? Greek fire was an ancient incendiary weapon used by the Byzantine Empire, designed to be launched from ships and catapults. Its fire didn't just burn, it continued to burn even on water, a property that baffled scientists for centuries. The Byzantines used it to devastating effect in naval warfare, and its exact composition remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. It's believed to have been a mixture of substances like naphtha, quicklime, and sulfur, but no one truly knows how the Byzantines created this unstoppable fire. What makes Greek fire so captivating isn't just its ability to destroy. It's the fact that this ancient weapon had the potential to rival the power of modern-day explosives. Imagine how such a weapon, if rediscovered today, could impact the world. It was centuries ahead of its time. Now, think about what other ancient weapons may have been just as advanced. Stay tuned, because we're about to explore even more of them. The Chinese fire lance. The first gun. The Chinese fire lance might sound like something out of a fantasy novel, but this weapon was the precursor to the modern gun. Ancient Chinese engineers created a weapon that combined the power of fire and gunpowder long before the West even had a concept of firearms. Can you imagine using a weapon that shot fire and projectiles? The fire lance was essentially a spear but with a gunpowder-filled barrel attached to the tip. When fired, the barrel would shoot flames and projectiles, wreaking havoc on enemy ranks. It was one of the earliest forms of firearms and in many ways is considered to be the first true gun in history. Although the fire lance was initially used in close combat, it eventually evolved into early forms of guns used in the military. Its role in warfare laid the foundation for the firearms we use today. It's incredible to think that centuries before the first true guns were invented, ancient Chinese engineers were already experimenting with fire and gunpowder in weapons. This weapon represents a bridge between ancient technology and the firearms we know today. And this is only one example of how ancient civilizations were capable of developing technologies that would take modern societies hundreds of years to replicate. The Archimedes' claw, a weapon of defense ahead of its time. What if I told you that the ancient Greek genius Archimedes created a weapon that could tear enemy ships apart with ease? You'd think this was the stuff of myths, but it was very real. Archimedes' claw was a marvel of ancient engineering and defense, capable of sinking ships right at the docks. The Archimedes' claw, also known as the ship shaker, was designed to protect the city of Syracuse from naval attacks. It was essentially a giant mechanical arm with a large claw that would grab hold of enemy ships, lift them from the water, and drop them. The force and precision with which the claw could rip through ships was unmatched in its time. The mechanism worked using pulleys and leverage, something so ahead of its time that we still marvel at its ingenuity today. Though its effectiveness is still debated, the concept behind the Archimedes' claw is clear. Ancient civilizations understood the science of mechanics and leverage in ways that modern engineers might find surprising. This ancient defense weapon may have been a precursor to modern anti-aircraft or anti-ship systems. It shows that ancient cultures were capable of creating technologies that were, in many ways, centuries ahead of their time. The war chariots of the ancient world. Before tanks and armored vehicles dominated the battlefield, ancient warriors had something just as powerful: war chariots. These fast-moving, heavily armed vehicles were game-changers in ancient warfare, and some even had sophisticated designs meant to break through enemy lines with ease. War chariots were used for centuries across various cultures, including the Egyptians, Persians, and the Hittites. These chariots were often pulled by horses and could carry up to 2 or 3 warriors. What's most fascinating is how the design of these chariots evolved over time. For example, the ancient Egyptian chariots were lightweight, allowing them to move quickly and penetrate enemy lines. In contrast, the Persian chariots were heavily armored, designed to strike fear into their enemies with their sheer presence. What makes these chariots stand out is not just their speed, but the strategic role they played in ancient warfare. Chariots were often used to flank, outmaneuver, and disorient the enemy, much like modern tanks do today. The incredible advances in chariot design show how ancient civilizations, while lacking the technology we have today, still found ways to revolutionize warfare with the tools available to them. The mystery of the Roman scorpion. What do you think of when you hear the word scorpion? Perhaps a dangerous insect? But in ancient Rome, the word referred to a terrifying siege weapon that could launch projectiles with terrifying accuracy. Imagine an ancient weapon that was as effective as a modern-day crossbow, but with a level of power that could destroy entire fortifications. The Roman scorpion was a type of torsion siege engine used by the Roman army. It worked on the principle of tension and torsion, twisting ropes to create immense power. When launched, the scorpion could fire bolts with such speed and precision that it would pierce through the walls of fortresses and enemy shields. Some versions of this weapon could even launch projectiles up to 200 meters, making it an invaluable asset in siege warfare. What's most fascinating about the Scorpion is how much it resembles modern siege and projectile launching technologies. Its design and power are clear indicators that the Romans were far ahead of their time in terms of engineering and warfare. Imagine an army today using something similar to this ancient weapon. It would be as effective as any modern artillery. The Roman Scorpion proves that ancient civilizations weren't just about brute force. They were capable of creating sophisticated, precise weaponry that could level the playing field with far fewer resources. The kukri, the legendary Nepalese blade. When you think of ancient weaponry, you might envision swords or axes. But what about a weapon that blends both utility and combat prowess into a single tool? Meet the kukri, a legendary blade from Nepal that has been used for centuries in battle and survival alike. What makes this weapon so unique, and how has it stood the test of time? The kukri is a distinctive curved blade that originated in Nepal. With a broad sloping edge, it is capable of inflicting devastating blows, and its design makes it an incredibly versatile tool. The kukri was primarily used by the Gurkhas, a group of Nepalese soldiers renowned for their ferocity in battle. The weapon's unique shape allows for powerful cleaving strikes, which are highly effective in close combat. What sets the kukri apart from traditional swords is its ability to perform multiple functions: combat, chopping, cutting, and even preparing food. The blade's curvature allows the user to wield it with remarkable speed and precision, delivering lethal blows in an instant. What's fascinating about the kukri is that despite its relatively simple design, it continues to be a symbol of Nepalese military might. The Gurkhas' fierce reputation in battle is often attributed to their kukris, and the weapon is still in use today. Its legacy extends beyond just a blade. It's a testament to the ingenuity of ancient civilizations, showing that even a seemingly simple weapon can carry great historical and cultural significance. The kukri's continued presence in modern combat proves that ancient weaponry, when designed with care and functionality in mind, can remain relevant for centuries. And who knows? Maybe there's a part of you that sees this ancient blade as the perfect balance between form and function, just like the technological advancements of the past that continue to influence us today. The legacy of ancient weaponry. Now that we've explored some of the most mind-blowing ancient weapons, think about this. If ancient cultures were capable of creating such advanced weaponry with limited resources, what other technologies did they possess that have been lost to time? Throughout history, civilizations have crafted weapons that defied their era, from the fire of Greek fire to the mechanical genius behind the Archimedes' claw. These inventions weren't just tools of war, they were innovations that showcased the brilliance of ancient engineers. Many of these weapons were lost to history, but their legacy continues to inspire awe. The fascinating thing is that some of these weapons could easily rival modern technologies, making us question just how advanced ancient civilizations really were. As we move forward in the modern world, it's important to remember that the foundations of our technology were often laid down by people who didn't have the tools we have today. By examining these ancient weapons, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity of those who came before us. Who knows what other remarkable weapons or technologies might still be hidden in the annals of history, waiting to be uncovered. Keep your curiosity alive, and you might just discover the next great mystery of the past.